I've been inspired to make this video today in the hopes that it will help some people realize that we can do things to help our children who have struggled with learning difficulties and various issues in life. So today I'm going to share the story of our son Simon and how far he's come in the last 5 years, particularly in the area of ADHD, the Eaton Arrowsmith program in Vancouver, and the Tomatis listening therapy, as these are the two interventions that we have done with Simon.
Can you tell us what it's like for you now, post brain training, to be in a loud or busy room?
It is more organized. I now can block out the sound, opposed to not hearing more of what other people are saying. But now I can hear more of what the person that I'm trying to focus on is saying. Okay.
So you used to find it hard before your Tomatis and your Eaton Arrowsmith.
Yeah.
How would you describe how you found it? What about it was hard for you?
Focusing on one person, I find that I would tend to drift. I would be like on an iceberg, and I would just be drifting away from the person opposed to actually paying attention to them.
And he's sporting. He's becoming very competent within his sport. In many areas of his learning, he's up to average for his age. So he's no longer that leaky bucket, which we're constantly putting information into, and it's just falling out the bottom, which is devastating for all of us and his teachers, and not to mention for himself and his morale. And no wonder his eyes were out the window. He would stare blankly out the window because it was literally going in one ear and out the other. And he now has so much traction in his learning and he stays engaged. So after reading Barbara Arrowsmith's book, The Woman Who Changed Her Brain, we decided that Simon needed to get onto the Arrowsmith program, as this would be a really good fit for him. So this is a cognitive improvement program that has been designed specifically to strengthen and improve the brain. And they have discovered 19 areas which can be directly targeted with cognitive exercises which are developed by them and have evolved over the years. Simon had 14 of these areas that needed work on. So in his 4 years at the school, he absolutely thrived. Loved the school, loved the teacher, the environment. It was an enormous weight off his shoulders. And he improved out of sight. It was about at this time that some of the parents from our school community discovered the Tomatis method, again through reading a book. So Dr. Norman Deutsch's book, The Brain's Way of Healing, they discovered this program, and many of the children were going and having Tomatis listening therapy. And the results were fantastic. And us having been at the school for 4 years and seen many interventions being brought in over and above Arrowsmith, this is the one that was having the most impact, and these kids were coming back with some terrific results, and we really wanted Simon to be part of this. So Dr. Tomatis was an ear, nose and throat doctor from France, and he was a pioneer in his field. He was the first person to make the connection between the brain, the auditory system and the voice. And the ear that is involved in 90% of our sensory information that stimulates the brain. So a little bit about the therapy. It's a sound therapy program that stimulates the central nervous system, particularly the sensory system. And through the process of neuroplasticity, it re-educates and reorganizes the auditory pathways, helping the system to perceive sensory information. And the result of this is that the listeners coming out a lot calmer, they are much more attentive, and they know where their bodies are in space. So Tomatis essentially is building a solid foundation which has a wonderful domino effect on all areas, be them cognitive, emotional and sensory. And it settles down, and this is something we really wanted to get help with more for Simon, was this constant need to move, to pay attention, and it settles all of that down. So that part has really settled for Simon. And just recently we've taken him for a psych ed assessment, that he needed for his new school, and he no longer has the status of an ADHD child. They said that he's lost that. So for us as parents, that is an enormous win. And I really feel that these two interventions, Arrowsmith and Tomatis, have certainly helped our child. And I really hope that this gives some people some inspiration, that we can help our kids and we can get them fixed up for life so things are easier.
Thank you very much for listening, and please feel free to get any more information needed off the relevant websites.